Indeed. So, second map is going to be Infernal Shrines. And once again, if we wanted some maps to really test these teams, test their standard play, we've chosen the perfect two. Spider Queen, very good for going to the late game, can be snowballed, so you can test the team's ability to keep control of a victory they already have. And Infernal Shrines, the most standard map we could possibly have.
Yeah, it has been the world's favorite map, as I would like to call it, for a reason, because it is probably one of the least snowbally maps. You can bait the Punisher over the wall very nicely, you can take it down very quickly, and only in the later stages of the game, past level 16, does the Punisher really get like a true menace where you can really force keeps with it. Before that, it just doesn't have enough HP, the AI behavior is just not smart enough, so yeah. Also, I really like the diversity of playstyles we can play on this map. You can go global, you can go double support, almost any style can be played on on Infernal Shrines, and that's what makes the map so interesting in terms of drafting as well.
Indeed, it is. So, I just read, so they just did a close-up of the Kudos top shirts, trying to give it away. And there is, by the team name of WKG, they are WK Gaming. Turns out more than one of those. Really annoying. Still struggling to find more information on that.
Nice. There we go. Speaking of China and their cool t-shirts, I basically asked you before the mid-season brawl started to maybe get one of those fantastic E-Star jerseys because they looked fantastic. Tell us, what were you able to snatch away from the Chinese team, Stitcher? Did you bring us a trophy?
I was not able to find a blazer. However, for those of you who did watch the mid-season brawl, you can see that there were some wonderful behind-the-scenes shots of some of your favorite players. So as such, I have Zing C's beautiful artistic work of art of Valor. I'm willing to put... I'm probably on Twitter after today going to put up a picture of like the comparison of that picture compared to the actual pic of Valor, just so people can see how incredible he is at being an artist.
You got the real painting by Xingxi?
Yep.
Oh,
it was quite fun because it did not fit in my case. Uth, the first pick, big surprise, he was left open. I literally had to go to the airport as it didn't fit in my case, show this to someone and go, yeah.
You really want this?
I need you to... How do I get this home to the people at the airport? Great way to do. First pickups. Great burst potential there as we head into our draft of game number 2.
Fantastic. Uther makes it as a first pick for KT as well. Uther, not only is he super solid by himself, but also he enables so many other heroes. And I think the rise of Uther single-handedly enabled a lot of those burst-heavy melee assassins like Genji, Zeratul, Greymane, which is the reason why we're going to see those heroes a lot more frequently, which is why I think the meta has shifted from a very, support-heavy style into this explosive blow-up style.
I would agree. We'll see. Which, to be fair, we always thought that was a style that would fit China quite well. It just never ended up being what they went for. It's super strange to see, but that is exactly what happened. So, with those locked in, let's see what the Uther is going to be with Dahaka and Tassadar coming in once again. Nice. So they've left themselves once again open to Valor, open to Illidan, open to basically anything they want, and they've removed some of the best supports from the Greymane.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, The double support style just fit KT so well in the first game. They can go for another hyper carry composition again with Uther Tassadar, which in my opinion is even stronger than the Rhaegar Tassadar from first game. Let's see if they're going to ban away the Vala, because I think WKG really suffered from the style that KT was bringing to the table in the first game, and they will have to do it. And I really like this ban, because oftentimes, to me, teams seem to be a little bit too proud to admit that they struggle against one hero in particular, or one player in particular, and they won't ban the hero as a result. But I'm really happy that WKG adapts.
Indeed, it's always good to see teams adapt. The Valor being banned out as well, like we said, for those solid reasons. So KT, what else do you ban out from this? More burst, more lockdown is always very nice here. So which heroes would fit into this? Supports as well. Karazim could be a great follow-up in terms of damage. Rhaegar also offers a little bit of burst damage for himself. Arthas, that potentially leads, seeing as with the Valor banned out, Illidan or Tracer would be quite strong, and if Arthas is able to get onto either of those, it can be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I also saw a question from chat asking about the newly reworked Thrall, and yes, he would be available if teams decided to pick him. However, similar to Balfurion, there's a lot of controversy about Thrall. A lot of people say he's weaker than before. Some people say he's just fine. I lean towards the latter. I think he's not as bad as many people think he is, but Thrall wasn't really a factor before his rework, and now with the new rework not really boosting him too much, I don't think we're going to see him very often, Titcher. What is your take on him?
I haven't had a huge amount of opportunity to try him. I've played against him a couple times, and I've not had a huge amount of trouble, so I wouldn't place him any higher than I would have before his changes, basically.
Exactly. So he could be a nice niche pick every now and then when you really need a good flanker with a Sundering, for example. But for the majority of the games, I don't think we should expect him pop up too often. Now, we do see his Orc brethren, though, Double Schmork going in for WKG, and they go for a Gul'dan without the traditional Oriel combo, which is normally the pair we see more often. Ragnar so far seems to be valued extremely highly by both teams.
Indeed, being picked up, like you said, over the Ariel here, despite her being open. Very interesting to see. So, Illidan, Lunara, neither. It is just going to be an empowered Lunara comp, and KT very reminiscent twice in a row now of the old E-Star style with just double support on top of a ranged assassin and then double tank every single time. We have discovered a style preference.
Absolutely. Stitches, I do want to say that the Asian regions were probably the two regions like Korea and China that favored Stitches way before the majority of the West did, with the exception of Dignitas maybe. But it's really cool to see that China were definitely among the innovators for a global Stitches style. Now he's present in all regions. We saw him in NA yesterday. We see him in Europe on a regular basis. And China just sticks to their guns, and they keep picking the Stitches, which I do like quite a bit. And for the very first time, we can see how proficient KT's Butcher is going to be on his hooks, unless he plays the Dahaka.
Yeah, I mean, Stitch is about as close visually you can actually get to Butcher without picking him himself. And Artanis as the final pick for WKG. So
somewhere Trixler is having an epiphany.
Maybe. So very interesting there. Artanis very much Artanis is still super weird. He's not all tank. He's not all bruiser. He is like that middle line between the two of them.
He is, as you said, he is not really a full tank. More of a bruiser tank hybrid, and I'm a little bit worried about this Artanis too, because if he gets hooked, there's no way out for him. He doesn't have a dwarf toss, he doesn't have a power slide, no escape mechanisms really to escape an onslaught from KT. However, what Artanis does bring to the table is a strong solo ending phase, and an extremely strong late game.
I also think that you are misinterpreting how to play Artanis in the first place. There is no escaping when you play Artanis.
Aggression is the best defense.
That is not the... Actually, yes, with Artanis, of course, because you get the shield cooldown. But yeah, absolutely, with Artanis, it is the Protoss way. It is the Zealot way to get all in there. And of course, he can... You can perform some cool jukes with him. Like, your best escape plan is to usually get behind your opponent in between them and their base and then swap them. That's usually your best attempt to escape. But yeah, Artanis, interesting hero. We've seen some really, really exceptional plays and some really, really bad ones.
Yeah.
Depending on who's been playing him. We will see which side WKG fit there.
Exactly. It's also not his most common battleground. We're used to seeing him quite a lot on Battlefield of Eternity because of the immortal damage he brings to the table, but on Infernal Shrines, you're normally not used to seeing him a lot. However, I think the map offers a lot of spots and locations for him to land a good swap combo. And, you know, if you landed on someone like Lunara, for example, especially after acquiring the slow at level 7, she doesn't really have a lot of HP to get out. She's not the tankiest of members, so there are a couple of good targets for him. Yeah.
The issue with that is you are placing yourself between Lunara and the place she wants to go, and Lunara can just take Leaping Strike, which is
I would totally go for it. Yeah. It's a very good point. It's a very good point.
I'm still kind of sad we don't see the wonderful combo that we saw during Lunara's PTR days. of taking the extra movement speed on the Wisp.
Yeah.
And then going the allied leaping strike, so you could basically just send out the Wisp, it would outrun you, and then use that as an escape mechanism, or a extra engage range.
Beautiful stuff coming in. But you know what else is beautiful, guys? The second game in the series between KT and WKG. Two newcomers in the Chinese HGC. And it looks like we're going to have this hype video every single time. Let's do it!
That's cool. That fills time for the loading screen, I guess. And it is very colorful.
It is bright, it is colorful, it is beautiful, it is hype.
You know, this reminds me of the Blizzard Gear video, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So good. But actually, when I first saw this hype video, I thought it was another trailer for the Blizzard Gear store. Like, I thought it was Chinese version for it, but super cool to see these teams back on the battlefield. This time, they're playing on Infernal Shrines. And in the blues, we see WKG. We have Ailing on that Greymane. We see Lao Hu on Gul'dan. We see Diao on Artanis. Zero on Nubarak, and Moon on the support on the Rehgar.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is going to be KT with T-Dye on the Uther, Neptune on the Dahaka, Fury on the Tassadar, Seeing on the Lunara, and Butcher on the Stitches.
Wow, and already
hooks Artanis.
I was gonna say the first hook already landed. Beautiful stuff, but no follow-up damage to really bring down the Artanis. Now, do you think there's a correlation between Neptune and Sea the god of the sea from the ancient Romans, and Seeing? I'm not sure if there's...
I think that would be a very interesting, that would be some good lore synergy. I like it.
There we go. We figured out what KT is trying to tell us here.
Oh my. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have another hook. Once again, no follow-up this time. It is Tassadar here, so not the best follow-up in terms of damage. But things to notice. For starters, it is not a spell shield and Nubarak. It is taking some health regen, which is fine. Not a huge amount of spell damage here, as Lunara gets engaged upon hard and walks subtly away. Beginning to drop some counter damage. Hook onto Rehgar. Can they finish it? Stun from Uther. Poison damage, and they get the kill. Nicely done. But something else that is worth mentioning here, Corruption build on Gul'dan, and Seasoned Marksman coming in for Artanis.
Nice. So Artanis going full bruiser mode here. Now, I do want to highlight that the Seasoned Marksman on Artanis can be extremely powerful if he fully completes it. Because guess what? After getting 40 stacks, you're going to get that attack speed. And the faster Artanis attacks, the more frequently he's going to have his shield overload ready, because it scales with his auto attacks. So very, very cool late game synergy for Artanis. The only question is he going to get there? That remains to be seen for now. But Tetra, something I wanted to mention. We saw some good synergy already between Seeing and Butcher, the Stitches and the Lunara players. Later on at level 10, we will probably see the Putrid Bell and take a look at the Unfair Advantage as well. The additional damage on slow target can be beautiful.
Uther, he doesn't have Guardian of the Eight Kings yet, and as such will get focused down. Swap is landed as well. Can they make it to a noob having to the poison damage?
Oh my god!
Dahaka just refuses to die as they begin to turn around onto Artanis. Hook's not able to be landed, and it just turns into a 1-for-0 as Artanis, a little bit of a rough position, but he's able to pull back.
That was so smart by Artanis. He basically predicted the tongue to come out from Neptune, used his blade dash to dodge it, and that was just perfectly timed because the tongue did come out indeed. But also great play by Neptune, really allowing himself to stay alive throughout all this focus fire. But also, man, Uther heals are pretty good. They even apply armor when he's dead. So that certainly contributed a lot to his survival there. Great stuff.
Indeed it did. So we move into the first shrine phase right now. And you already mentioned we will see the unfair advantage with the Putrid Bar. Most likely we'll also see the slowing slam from Stitches later on as well. So basically consistently buff damage from Lunara. But until then, Stitches is going to fall unless he's exceptionally lucky. Nope, cocktail. And he gets taken down. Artanis starting to get some value, but he wasn't able to get his shield back off Gul'dan. Would have maybe been smarter for him to keep attacking as opposed to turning around there. As Gul'dan is finished off, Lunara tearing things up right now.
Lunara is one of those weird picks that whenever she gets locked in, she looks extremely good. Yesterday as well, Team Liquid faced Team Dignitas and they made this Lunara work like a charm. But for some weird reason, she is not a common sight these days. I really wonder what the explanation for this is. I would have to talk to a couple of pro players for that, most likely. But Lunara so far working like a charm, and that strong poison damage really proves to be a difficulty for heroes like Gul'dan, who have to damage themselves in order to get more mana to cast their spells. So really, really good thinking by C-Ink and his boys so far.
And you can see that Gul'dan has actually taken the increased mana regen from his own damage so that he can do it as few times as possible. So we'll see if that does work out for him. Punisher baited it beautifully over the wall with Anub'arak even avoiding getting damaged by it. As they focus it down, single Side Storm will come in, but overall, this push has ended. Nice defense by WKG.
Yeah, nice defense. Also nice rotations here by WKG as well. Not neglecting any of the lanes, having someone in middle and bottom to keep on soaking against the Dahaka, who's just so good at double soaking while the Immortal is pushing. So both teams really strong macro play, not making any beginner mistakes here in terms of neglecting and losing soak XP. This game already promises to be a lot closer than game number 1 and 2.
Splintered Spear, of course, by the Lunara. You want to spread that damage as much as possible because everyone's going to be slowed. Even Tassadar took the slowing auto attacks here. Artanis going in for follow through. He is going all in for this bruiser / damage style. And the damage output is kind of crazy. You can do exceptionally well if you combined it with any kind of attack speed buff. For example, if we were to see a Bloodlust, which is unlikely because Gul'dan, but the possibility is there, and if not, a single Earth Shield I would like to see from the Rhaegar could make that Artanis insanely hard to kill.
Absolutely. There are so many defensive tools to keep Artanis alive. As you said, the Earth Shield at level 13, the Cleanse, the Ancestor Healing. And if you can't stop the Artanis, if you can't prevent him from auto-attacking over and over again, he's just a lean fighting machine, and he will never stop tearing your backline apart. So shutting down this Artanis is going to be of the essence. Now, we see a rotation coming down from WKG. They're trying to defend this lane against the goat men here. I keep forgetting what they're actually called. Tetra, help me out. The Khazarus. There we go. My lore expert. Thank you for saving me.
You are welcome.
Do they actually appear in Diablo, and are they called the same?
They are called well, in terms of, they're called Goatmen via Heroes of the Storm nicknames, as we gave them. Yeah. They're called Khazarus in Diablo. In game files, they're called Impalers.
There we go. Okay. Now, Impalers is something I can definitely memorize. There we go.
Yeah, that is fine. So
level 10 time, baby.
They are Impalers. We also have, of course, the Fallen Shaman and the Fallen Hounds. Yes. And it is going to be Leaping Strike coming in from Lunara. Even more slows. Good escape. So she is in a very solid position in case she gets flipped by Artanis. Isolation, once again, on the Dahaka. Going with the exact same build so far. Archon for the Tassadar. Rhaegar going to the Afterlife. Goodbye, friend. Taken out before he reaches 10. Even so, no Self-Ancestral anymore, unfortunately. It is Putrefile, and of course, finishing off with Divine Shield in case you do get unlucky and one person gets focused down. Tassadar might need it if anyone's nearby. He gets flipped.
Oh, what?
Why? Why? The flip mistake.
Yeah, the flip was a little bit too greedy here, but a beautiful Horrify hitting multiple people at the same time. Tassadar lives, but WKG, they're regretting this engagement right now.
Lunara doing crazy damage. The turnaround coming in from Greymane, but Divine Shield shuts that down. Hook just short of landing, and KT take the fight 2-1. 2-0, sorry.
Now, Tetra, look at Artanis' level 10. I haven't seen that one in a very long time in competitive. We see the Purifier Beam coming online.
Yeah, who is that? Who is that to be dropped on?
Maybe the Stitches if he goes in a little bit too deep. But you're right. Everyone else has pretty good escapes against it. Haka can burrow in. Lunara can just leap away. Yeah.
The only person I can think of is actually Uther, because Stitches actually gets a speed boost from Putrefile as well, so he's not a good target. So it is only Uther, really, who's viable.
Maybe they're going to try to use it with the Cocoon as a follow-up combo, like you stun and use the Purify Beam immediately. But as you said, there's many escape mechanisms available. Speaking of Cocoon, by the way, it was dropped on the Stitches to prevent a hook to go down here, but the Immortal is pushing hard, and level 13 is around the corner for KT. Can they get more out of it? I don't think they can. They're abandoning the Punisher right now, and they're trying to get some more mercenaries. Good job.
Indeed, Punisher drops down. They are starting off on these Impalers, on these Kazuras over here, clearing this up as much as possible. Noob wrapping around. Cocktail does scout this out.
Oh,
Noob
they're not capping it.
in, gets the stun. They're going to try and fight for this. They're not even going to cap the thing because they want to get the kills as Lunara spends all the damage. Stitches is flipped by Artanis Ancestral onto it.
No.
Here comes the laser really slowly. Why would you drop that on Lunara? She begins to micro backwards. The camp is captured. So far, no one died in this fight, but finally we're seeing Artanis getting focused down, and he is killed off. And we also see the Gul'dan and the Grey Maid taken out. They want a noob too, but he is too far away.
He is too far away, and that was a 3-for-0 change, excuse me, in favor of KT. And as you pointed out, Tetcher, why would you drop the Purifying Beam on the Lunara? One Leaping Strike, and she's miles away. Instead, I think you can use it on Uther or Tassadar to really force the supports to retreat and use one of their escape mechanisms in time. But I don't think they should use it on Lunara ever again.
Forcing TAS to burn Dimensional Shift would be 100% acceptable utilization of this. That is a big deal. Leaping Strike, though, it gives her utility, gives her damage, and uses her. It does use her escape, but she was probably going to use it anyway because she's Lunara. Now you can see her positioning herself perfectly to get as far
that's
away,
a good horrify.
Good this time. Divine Shield, though. Does she have another Leaping Strike?
My.
Yes, she does. Over the top, and Anubis decimated.
And you can see all that damage coming in from Putrid Ball and the Unfair Advantage at level 13. That is the ultimate power spike for Lunara in that game. And a beautiful save by Uther once again. T-Die really playing to the max here, keeping his dear Bambi alive. It was a great horrify. It was a great start for WKG, but just 1 millisecond too short of duration, and Uther got back out of it and saved Lunara. Beautiful. We see a replay right now.
Yeah, so dead. Nope, denied. Uther is here. Leaping Strike positioning. Easy focus down. Of course, like you said, the Unfair Advantage. Getting so much value. Everyone just gets wrecked. Beautiful play by KT. They were able to take down bot fort, and now they are moving on to the objective, preparing for another Punisher.
Yeah, and this is looking mighty rough here for WKG. Not only are they going to have to defend against yet another Punisher, but also, Tetcher, they're going to have to be against level 16. They don't even have 13 yet. 2 talents down. This is looking mighty rough here for WKG.
They're desperately trying to soak to level 13 so they have it for the defense, but they're still going to be a talent down as the Punisher is spawned in the bottom lane. Dahaka is top lane, soaking his team to 16. He can tunnel down to join them when he needs to, as Lunara and the rest of the team hit 16. The extra cooldown reduction, an extra slow on those slams from Stitches, so now he has consistent buffing for the Unfair Advantage as opposed to just his heroic.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff coming out here. We also see the nullification at level 13 for Tassadar, denying or preventing a lot of damage from Greymane or Artanis, whoever gets deeper into the backline. And this is a talent that has seen a huge rise in popularity throughout the last months. It's just so good to really shut down those burst-heavy melee bruisers and melee assassins that are so popular in the current meta. So Tassadar, not only in terms of offensive capabilities. Oh,
that you try to predict. It turns out making yourself predictable. Laser drop on Stitches this time. He's horrified. The damage output is good this time, and they take him down.
And this was a really, really good cocoon on Uther, who couldn't drop the Divine Shield as a result. But KT, they're keeping a cool head here. They turn this around. They kill one after the other. The 16 talent advantage is just too much for WKG to handle. They take down the Gul'dan here as well. Is the fountain going to be enough? For now, it's...
Sick.
Oh, it was not enough. They missed him.
Denied. And like you said, turns out level advantages really, really good. That was the best fight that WKG have taken so far, but it's not enough as KT move on to the core.
They move to the core. Short death timers, though, on the side of WKG. Maybe they can defend this. Nice Ancestral!
We're seeing Uther getting focused down by the core here as Artanis trying to get some value. Lunara kiting backwards, though, and they weren't able to kill off anyone, but their core survives. They don't even take any damage. It's just shield.
Nice defense here. Only the keep to die. I mean, that is still pretty brutal, but it's not game ending, not game deciding. So, WKG, they can recollect themselves, they can take a breather, and they can soak a little bit more to reach 16 themselves. Butcher going for the blind hook. Not hitting, but still a nice try. Very important. Don't be afraid to hook as much as you can, because you only need to land one potentially in order to decide the game.
That sentence is giving me nightmares. Butcher with the blind hook. Can you imagine if the real Butcher had hook?
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
just nightmares.
he does
Hook
have
into
one,
Furnace
but it's
Blast.
yeah, he does have
Like
one, but it's the Butcher's brand more likely. Like,
Yeah,
he's gonna
I want
hit
you
you
to, I want
hard.
you to imagine fishing hook Butcher
Oh
with
god,
still his regular heroics. Furnace Blast, he still
Yeah.
gets the...
hook
he still
into
gets
Lamp of
that
the Slaughter seems
slaughter.
good. Yep.
Yeah, nightmare fuel. No thank you, Blizzard. As we see, Butcher's scary enough as it is, even if he's not very
Now,
good. We see
something-
KT puts up to the point.
Let's talk about something that's really cool for KT's composition. I think they adapted to the focus on a noob rank by so many teams insanely well. Because look at their team comp and how they can shred cocoons. Tassadar Tickle Beam, extremely powerful because of the fast damage animation. Lunara's Poison, they have so many abilities, so many traits available that can deal extremely well with the cocoon. So much, in fact, that the cocoon, until now, has never really been a big factor.
No, they haven't actually managed to get much value out of it at all, except for the one cocoon
Yeah.
on Uber, where they were able to get kills and still lost the fight. However, for the first time since like level 8, they are finally on even talents. This is going to be WKG's probably last chance to take a decent fight, but they're going to be doing it against Punisher. They have to defend against this Punisher and then try and take a fight without getting themselves picked off.
Man, and the Purple Peters, those are the deadliest, man. Arcane Punishers, they can deal a lot of damage to the enemy team's base. Nice dodge, though, by Artanis, really avoiding a lot of damage from that slam, also making himself not exposed to potential follow-up CC. So you can see the Haka, by the way, trying to soak 20. They're not trying to force that keep. All they want is Storm Talons for themselves for the next big team fight. Really, really smart.
Okay. We need to see WKG force a fight without getting themselves picked off. They find Tassadar, Stitches revealing himself, but they're not able to pick anyone off. The more they waste time, the less likely they're going to be able to take a good
nice
fight.
try.
Just missing as we see Artanis beginning to move out. And Noob waiting over the wall for someone to get out of position.
They're going in.
Finds Lunara. Can they take her out? Divine Shield drops very early. The flip is landed. Artanis right into the backline, trying to take down Uther. Laser dropped on Uther, trying to focus him down here. Lunara takes down a Noob.
The Ancestral came a little bit too late for a noob, and they lose 2 team members already. KT not even 20, but they dominate that team fight. Gul'dan is about to fall next here. Look at Lunara, she's going melee range all the way. She's not scared. And KT, they have a naked core, they have an open core. The bottom has been destroyed, and they're marching to victory here, Tetcher. What a glorious performance by KT.
Beautiful play in that last fight. We saw the last chance move from WKG, but it was not enough, and KT take the series with a 2-0, giving themselves that beautiful 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points secured here on that first play day in Phase 2 of HGC China. KT, a diamond in the rough. They're looking exceptionally powerful here. It remains to be seen whether it was because of WKG not really being on the same level or because they are just very, very talented as a team altogether. Tetcher, I couldn't have imagined a better start. We see a potential, star team causing some upsets maybe later on if they face other opponents like CE or E-Star. I'm just very, very excited to see KT advance in Phase 2. Super good stuff.